With the return of Vault of Glass last season came one of my favorite weapons from the franchise, the Vex Mythoclast. This gun was fun, had a unique sound, and was beyond broken when it first dropped in Destiny 1. Then it got toned down and forgotten about like so many other weapons, which was kinda sad. Didn't matter though, I kept using it anyways. Needless to say, I was ecstatic when I heard this gun was coming back, until I actually got it. Turns out the Vex was a lackluster turd that nobody wanted to use, until Season of the Lost. Bungie got this bright idea to buff the crap out of it by 40%, and then they tacked on a catalyst for an additional 20% after a kill, along with giving us an artifact mod called Particle Deconstruction. Now the gun is just broken and fun as hell to use. This thing now melts everything it comes in contact with, but for some reason, that just wasn't enough. See, I'm all about using abilities and lots of gun damage. It's like my go-to for every game I play, especially as a hardcore Borderlands player. So in today's video, that's exactly what we're gonna do. This build is all about that good old-fashioned Warlock team support, running and gunning, and just flat out plowing through ads with no lube. But the best part is, it works on all three classes of Guardian. So if you're ready to put Destiny on easy mode, then stick around. What's up, my fellow weirdos? How are you today? I'm all hopped up on antihistamines for my allergies, so let's do this. I hope everyone is having a blast with the season so far. I personally hate time-gated content, but I'll survive. Before we get started, I need to make a disclaimer. I do not have the Vex Mythoclast catalyst on my account because I'm lazy, so the gameplay footage you see in this video is without the catalyst. I did test this build out on someone else's account before I made the video, but I had no way of recording it because it was on a PS4. Okay, now we can actually talk about this build. Starting off with the subclass. The only requirement is that you use solar. I went with Middle Tree for the extra survivability and team support, plus you get that 25% bonus weapon damage while standing in the Well of Radiance. Alright, moving over to the mods. I'll start off with the minor ones first because these are tied to specific gear, and then we'll work our way over to the major mods, which can be put wherever you find room. On the helmet, I used the artifact version of Hands On twice to gain bonus super energy for melee kills. It's like my go-to standard for every build because I like supers. On the arms, I used one of the new stasis mods that came out this season called Grenade Kickstart. This mod gives you 15% of your grenade energy back when using your grenade. On the legs, we're using another new stasis mod called Orbs of Restoration. This mod grants a small amount of energy to the ability with the least energy, which will more than likely be your grenade. And for the bond, Particle Deconstruction, because why would you use anything else? Particle Deconstruction gives up to a 40% debuff when using a linear or fusion rifle. It's fantastic. Okay, let's talk major mods. We're going to be using Font of Might, Fire and Ice, Elemental Ordnance, Elemental Time Dilation, and Elemental Armaments. Font of Might grants you 25% bonus weapon damage for 11 seconds to any weapon with the same element as your subclass, anytime you pick up a matching elemental well, which in our case would be solar. Fire and Ice is one of the new artifact mods this season. Anytime you kill a champion, they poop out 2 stasis and solar wells. Elemental Ordnance drops a subclass matching well anytime you kill an ad with a grenade. Elemental Time Dilation is one of the new mods from the helm this season, and it lets you stack any well mod that gives you time limited benefits. For us, this would be Font of Might. It only adds 3 seconds to the timer with 1 stack, but that 3 seconds was just enough time to get another well to drop before the timer ran out from our next mod on the list. And that's Elemental Armaments. This mod has an escalating chance to drop elemental wells from weapon takedowns matching your subclass. I would normally get a new one to drop roughly 1 second before the Font of Might timer ran out. Now let's talk about these lovely exotics. I made this build around the Warlock, but after playing with it for a few weeks, I found it works great on Titan and Hunter as well. For the Warlock, I used Mantle of Battle Harmony. It's just amazing in every which way. When you don't have a full super, this exotic's got you covered. Have a full super? It's got you covered on that too. It buffs your super recharge rate when getting kills with a weapon matching your subclass, and if you already have a full super, it grants 20% bonus weapon damage. It's like the Pornhub of exotics. It's got you covered no matter what your preference is. For my Titan boys, Path to the Burning Steps. As if I was gonna pick anything else. These skinny jean looking legs grant up to 35% weapon damage when mowing down ads with a solar weapon. They also make you harder to slow or freeze, which comes in really handy now that Bungie is passing out stasis abilities all willy-nilly like to every ad in the game. And for my super sneaky hunters out there, I am a firm believer in young Ahamkara's Spine for the increased trip mine grenade duration, blast radius, and you get grenade energy back when killing enemies with abilities. The more grenades you throw, the more wells you spawn. Okay, moving over to the weapons. For the kinetic and heavy, you can use whatever weapons you prefer. But for the energy, you already know we're using Vex Mythoclast to take full advantage of the crazy damage it now does. Plus, it would just be a little awkward to talk about the Vex in the beginning of the video and then not use it. I mean, right? There isn't much to this build, just lots of running, gunning, grenades, and damage. As you're slaughtering villages with grenades and Vex, the ads are dropping elemental wells from elemental armaments and elemental ordnance. When you pick up those wells, you instantly get a 25% damage buff from Font of Wisdom for 13 seconds. And this is stackable with empowering buffs like Mantle of Battle Harmony, Well of Radiance, or Path of the Burning Steps. It's even stackable with the debuff Particle Deconstruction. You will seriously melt everything in your path. I know everyone doesn't have the Vex Mythoclast, and that's part of the reason I held on to this video for so long. If you don't have it, this build still works amazing with something like Sunshot or Teraba. And since none of the mods are tied to a specific subclass element except Fire and Ice, you can swap to a different weapon like Lorentz Driver and change subclasses. Granted, this won't work with the Path of Burning Steps or young Ahamkara's Spine, but these are easily replaceable. Now get out there and do that big Guardian stuff. If you found this video helpful, a like would be greatly appreciated, but more importantly, just be a good person to one another. And have a fantastic day. Thank you!